Hi, I'm interior designer Julie Fergus, and in this video I'd like to talk about the 5 common mistakes that I see people making in their interior design. And the first one is over-furnishing, and it can either be too much stuff or furniture too big for the space. And this is so common because people often don't measure their space before they shop, or they do spontaneous shopping where they see a piece and love it, but they don't have the right space for it. And that is so common, where we see big overstuffed pieces, but the room is small. So there are ways to avoid that by measuring before you shop. If you have limited space, don't buy overstuffed pieces. Buy pieces that have less big rolled arms and backs and things, so that will keep the pieces smaller but still give you plenty of seating space. And the same with tables, desks, dining tables. Oftentimes people have dining tables that are too big for their space. Yes, it's nice to have a big farm table that will sit 10 people, but if you only have 4 or 5 people in your home, then having that farmer's table isn't ideal. If you don't have the space for it, get a table that expands so that it can be kept smaller most of the time and open when you need it. So don't over furnish your space. Hang your artwork too high. I see this so often that it's just so commonplace. Art should be hung around right around the eye level. It seems low, but it's really not, because it typically is related to your furniture pieces, and most furniture pieces are around 30, 36, maybe 40 inches high, which is, even higher than some of the most furniture pieces. So when artwork is hung so much higher than that, if it's a small piece, it doesn't relate to the furnishing. So lower your art pieces, bring them down closer to the furnishings, and it will look better. And it shouldn't really be higher than, right around the top third should be at your eye height. It shouldn't be much higher than that. Also, so often I see is clutter and disorganization, and I know lives are busy and families are busy, so clutter and disorganization can pile up, but there are ways to tackle that, and especially the everyday clutter can be tackled, and I have a separate video where I talk about that, where I'll provide the link below. But clutter and disorganization just makes your home stressed. It makes it harder to maneuver. It can make it less enjoyable to be in. So try to avoid clutter and disorganization. And if you have some real challenging areas, tackle those first and improve those so that maybe it'll spur some enthusiasm to tackle some other spaces. I often see quantity of items instead of quality items, where people will buy a few smaller pieces of art instead of one substantial, better quality piece. That goes for knickknacks and things, and also for collectibles. People will, if they like, perhaps, for example, it would be ironstone. I like ironstone, and I used to buy things that, maybe were chipped because I like them, and I just don't do that anymore. I don't buy much of anything anymore because I'm much more simplified now. But if you have collections, buy the best in the collection. Don't buy them if they're chipped or they're missing something, because it's just not, it doesn't have the quality. And another thing is bad lighting. I see that so often where people will just have one light in a room, or they rely on the ceiling fan light or a light, overhead light, and not having variety of lighting. So I like to incorporate table lamps, overhead lighting, and task lighting. So there's wall sconces. So there's variety of light in a space, and that's what makes it, gives it atmosphere. It gives some flexibility if you're reading, or if you just want some overall gentle light. You have ways to illuminate instead of just relying on 1 to 2 fixtures. So improve your lighting by adding variety. So those are the 5 tips that I see often, and hopefully I gave you some tips on how to improve that. You can sign up for my email newsletter, which I send out once a month, through my contact page at my website at juliefergus.com, and also like us on Facebook. Thanks for watching.